Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to start off by giving. I want to start off this lesson by giving all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachak Dash. Double honors unto my elders, my apostles of great millstone, which are the men that rule and taught us His truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to you, like as always. And Lord's title will be Esau working, so stay vigilant. All right. Hey man, recent events. America striking Iran and. And the Lord's will in the post-production, I'll post some news clips and things of that nature. But, soon as after the strike that America did on Iran, you had, what's it called? You had I don't want to say Jake, because he might not have been a Jake. He looked like a Jake. Could have been a Hamite. I don't know. Don't matter. But, all of a sudden, there was a shooting in Texas, in Austin, Texas. I forgot the exact area, but it's funny because right after the strike is when that happens, and it was obviously religious. They're painting it as a religious-based attack because the guy had on a hoodie that said "Property of Allah," which is... Even on TikTok, people are saying, bro, really? Like, even on TikTok, they're saying, bro, this is clearly a psyop. This is clearly, some BS, man. It's propaganda, because the articles, they state irrelevant information, information that doesn't really need to be said. I believe he was from Senegal. They said the shooter was so-and-so, a naturalized citizen, Muslim. It's like... trigger words to continue the MAGA thing going with because they're like, oh, naturalized citizens. Oh, good thing Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship and get rid of naturalized citizens. So, let me put this on DND. Good thing Trump wants to get rid of all these, illegals and people who are naturalized citizens and things of that nature, right? And it keeps the whole thing going, the whole thing on hate on Islam. And then, the elder Yashawamba mentioned it in one of his recent news and prophecies that, they're trying to paint us as the terrorists, man. By grouping us in with Islam and all that garbage, man. And it's very true, because why else would they throw that stuff in the media? Esau's not really after Muslims; he's really after the Israelites, right? So that's what they're trying to group us in with them. And it's so obvious, and it's wild how they caught the picture of the guy holding his gun, walking around looking crazy, and a hoodie that's in a hoodie that said "Property of Allah." Like, first off, who does that? I've never even seen a hoodie that says something like that. As many Muslims, as much of a fad that Islam is in the DMV area, you don't see that type of attire on Muslim Jake, man, or Muslims in general. So it's like, Esau is just making it so obvious that it's him. It's not even funny at this point. Like, it used to be laughable. Now it's just like, come on, bro. Why are you even trying to do that? So let me get the scriptures, man, because at the end of the day, as corny and tacky as this devil is, we must stay vigilant because things will happen. Things are going to go down. Real events are going to take place, not false flags. Soon it'll actually be sleeper cells, real sleeper cells. I believe that guy... Someone said it best, so in the comments section of one of the videos on it, the CIA gave a homeless man a gun and told him to go bug out, and he did it. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like, But nonetheless, all right, hey, let me get the scriptures. Ephesians 5:14, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahweh Shai shall give thee light. Right, because Yahweh Shai hath given us the ability to see through all these things and to be able to link what's going on, current events to prophecy, right? And we're able to see through the BS and the media, and we're able to tell you what's really going on, right? And we're able to read the scriptures and know what time we're in, right? It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, right? Don't walk as a fool, walk as a wise man, right? Meaning use your head. And circumspectly means to look around. Make sure you're looking around spiritually and physically. Shit, physically as well. Shouldn't be hanging around big crowds and things of that nature, man, because whether it's a false flag or a real event, man, you don't want to be caught up in that. Okay? It says, redeeming the time because the days are evil, right? The days are evil. We're not living in regular times anymore. This is no longer, pre-COVID. All right? This is no longer a time frame where, you should be partaking in spring break activities, right? You shouldn't be going to crowded areas, things of that nature. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, right? And we know that the will of the Lord is to bring forth the kingdom, and before the kingdom, the evil has to come. And that's just what it is, man. All right? Ain't no other way around it. Okay? And, real quick, I wanted to mention this real quick through the Spirit because, I had a dream this morning. What's today? March 3rd, 2026. I had a dream this morning. Nothing too wild. And I'm speaking this as a man. This is just something I wanted to share through the Spirit with Akim. Basically, I was making a lesson, just like how I am right now. I usually make my lessons in my car, my lunch break, which is what I'm doing right now. And in the lesson, I spoke about how, the apostles have told us, we're in that Jacob's trouble. It's just not to its fullest extent. And the second that I had said that, I heard purge type alarms. And they were loud, they were blaring, man. And I heard them purge type alarms. And it's funny because I was, being in construction, Jake in construction. When that happened, I was in a construction zone, just like how I am right now. I was just in an area where I have never seen before. It didn't look like my usual work area. I don't even think I was in the same state I was in my dream, that I'm in right now in my dream. But once I heard the alarms blaring, the work completely ceased, 100%. It reminds me of that scripture in Ecclesiastes where the grinding shall cease. And that's what happened. Once the purge, it was a purge type alarm. I don't want to say it's the purge alarm, but it was a purge type of alarm blaring while I was making my lesson. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to end it with that. And then I'll give all praises. And the work completely ceased because I'm on the construction site, like I said, and the work stopped 100%. People were shook. Shoot, I was shook in the dream, But, after a few seconds, I was like, oh, I'm chilling, man. I got the Lord, man. Let me just close this out, right? And that's how I went down in my dream, man. And that was just this morning, this morning at 4 a.m. today. When I was getting up, right before I got up for work, I had that dream. All right, and that's the mindset we have to have, is to keep our head on a swivel, because we're coming into times like that. We're coming into times where, we ain't gonna be making lessons anymore, man. We're coming to the time where we ain't gonna be going to camp no more. We ain't gonna be going out teaching no more. All right, we're coming to that time where we're not gonna be living in a livable situation anymore. We're gonna be living in different conditions. Ain't gonna be about getting up to pay bills no more and trying to pay tithes and making sure you have enough for alms and things of that nature. Soon it's just going to be straight up on the run. Pilgrims, being pilgrims on the earth. And we can't let, Esau's mind games. All right, we got to see through that, man. All right, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? We're not ignorant of anything that this damn devil does, man. At least we shouldn't be. Brothers should be more circumspect, And I say that to myself as well. All right, well, I remember when I heard about the shooting in Austin, and I looked it up, and I seen the dude had a hoodie on that said "Property of Allah." I was like, I smell bullshit. I smell Esau and all over it. And they would make him look like the dark skinned Jake, gray beard, right? Property of Allah. It's like, come on, man. Like, that shit is just played out, man. Esau ain't shit, man. But nonetheless, all right. We are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of what this devil is trying to do. Remember, we know he's trying to kill us. He's trying to blame us. He's building a case. Every brother has a dossier, man. Every brother has a portfolio. Your agent, whoever was assigned to investigate you, all right? It knows these things about you. Knows what you're really about, knows what you really do, but they still have to build a fake report on you, man. There's going to be false witnesses. Our elder Kasab talked about it at the Purim this past Saturday, that there's going to be false witnesses, man. There's going to be people that is going to show up to your court case and say, yeah, I saw that man do this and he did that. And you're going to be like, bro, what? AI is going to be used. They're going to show you doing some wild shit that you was not doing, and that you wasn't doing, and brothers are going to know you wasn't. Bet Esau has to build that case. Esau has to be that demon of a liar. Okay? It says, 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Now more than ever should we be less social. Obviously, brothers, brothers do their thing, keep it low key. That's beautiful, man. That's awesome. When we can have fun, we have fun. But for the most part, man, going out and wilding out, man, hey, we're coming in times where it ain't gonna be the most brightest idea to have or to do. It won't be the best thing for you to do for yourself. We're coming into some wild times, man. All right. So it says, to be sober, be vigilant. Your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And he's in times where he's about to come down with great wrath. That's what the scriptures say. Revelation 12:12. We're in that season. And we must keep that in mind, all right? So, hey, Esau is working. The devil is at work. Stay vigilant. Stay strong, man. All right? Continue to pray to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh. Do what you got to do as a man. All right? For the sisters out there, do what you're doing. Keep praying to the Lord. Keep fasting. All right? Because at the end of the day, the Lord ain't going to forsake us, and he ain't going to let us be tricked by this garbage. All right? By the BS that Esau is doing. So, hey, that's all I wanted to bring out real quick through the Spirit, man. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone, which are the men that rule well and taught us his truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations as always be to the elect. Shalom.